Jeffrey in Glendora, California. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com. And today I'm going to cut your prescription lenses with anti-glare. There's only, well, I was going to say there's only one frame that could be in this case, but there's actually two now. But this is the RayBan 4105, the folding Wayfarer in color 710, which is the classic tortoise, and the 50 eye size. So they actually make a folding Clubmaster now, and maybe some others, but that's it. Of course, your cute little case, your RayBan cleaning cloth. Let me take it out. The star of the show, the main attraction, the folding Wayfarer. Okay, enough sound effects. All right, it comes with these plastic sleeves on the temples to protect the temples from rubbing together when it's being shipped from Italy. And I will put that on there again. This is the RayBan 4105, color 710, the classic tortoise in the 50 eye size. There is no other, the folding Wayfarer. So, this is what it looks like now. Its big brother that was made in 1952, the RayBan 2140, the original Wayfarer. Their tortoise is the classic 902, same eye size. Of course, it doesn't come in the folding case because this one does not fold, but it is the same frame. This is the one that it was built on. So, that is it. How's that for a comparison? This one's actually a little lighter. This one's always been heavier for whatever reason, but same shields on the front. Of course, the biggest difference, this one folds up and stores flat. The only thing I wish they would have done differently is if they had a little belt loop on here that this could attach to your belt just like an old school beeper. How cute would that be to carry your sunglasses around in a case like that? But nonetheless, let me get to work. I got to do the sound effects. Jeffrey, I want you to do the same thing every time you open them up around people. But first things first, I got to take out, how about that, where it says RayBan on the folding, on the hinge. Got to like that too. Take out your original lenses, which take a lot of hand strength. And to show you how close they are, look at that. How does that pair up? Identical. And actually, let me close this up because I've got to ship this one tomorrow to Phoenix, Arizona. This one will be finding a new home, so let me put this away for now. Take out that lens. There we go. And I'm going to take your frame, put it into the tracing element of my blocker, and hit start. Everybody wants to know, how does the computer know what shape lens to cut? This is why. That stylus pops up, and it's going to go around and trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left side. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy genuine, authentic RayBan frame and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number. So if you have vision insurance or Flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. Jeffrey, you know you need prescription, and you did upgrade to the anti-glare coating. So that is what it looks like. Your your pupillary distance is 58. The computer starts at 32.5, so I'm going to tap the minus button a couple times till we get down to 29. I do want to raise the OC height up in this frame, the vertical decentration. This blue cross is the geometric center of the frame. I couldn't find it for a second. If you would measure vertically and horizontally, that's where you would be. Your eye is above that and just inset with that orange crosshairs. So let's come down here and get your lenses prepped. Is this on? Let me make sure it's zeroed out. We are good. Your right eye is minus 275, minus 50 at 165. Minus 275, minus 50 at 165. Oop. I budged it. And take the lens out of the protective sleeve. Put it in, rotate the lens until, well, got to put it on 275, don't I? 275. The power drum, that is. Rotate the lens until the spherical component comes into view. Check your astigmatism correction. Minus 50, we're at 3 1/4. That's good. Everything is lined up perfectly. Let me get a dead center of those crosshairs. And I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses. That is good. Where's my pen? This is the right lens. I'm going to place that onto the platform. Your left lens reads minus 3 1/4, minus 75. Minus 3 1/4, minus 75 at 60. Spin the axis wheel to 60. This lens could be anywhere from 0 to 180. This number, it has the same powers on here. It just depends on where I rotate the lens to where that power is going to be at. So let me put the power drum on 3 1/4. Rotate your lens. And I check that, 3 1/4. Minus 75, we're at -4, we're good, we're good. Let me mark this one L, which is Sanskrit for not right. Now if you missed any of that, let me recap. I'm telling you, that joke's, I don't care if anyone laughs at that joke. I'm going to say it. It does not matter at this point. If the clown gets to laugh at work, it's a good day at work. So, this is a block, or as I like to call them, Jenny from the block. I need to attach some double-sided adhesive stickers, of which I've done that on here, but let's open this up. I'm going to pull 2 of them off. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick the first one on there, place it on the platform, do the same thing on the second one. On the back is a little silver magnet. It's going to do its job twice today. The first time it's going to attach itself to something magnetical there in the arm. Let me pull the paper away to make that side sticky, line the magnet up. And the reason why I put those 3 dots on there is it tells me that the lens is oriented in there just perfectly and it's not askew. So that black dot is your optical, is the optical center of the lens. It's also the geometric center of the lens. If you were to measure in each division, that is the thinnest point of your lens. 1 millimeter thickness. And get those 3 dots lined up there perfectly. 29. Double check everything. 58. We're good. 23. And I'm going to hit that dot. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the right lens. Let me just mark that the OC height is, the vertical decentration is 21. Your pupillary distance has been mirrored from the right to the left. Pull the paper away. Of course, same vertical decentration, same OC height. There's a lot of people on Facebook, Optician's Facebook page, saying you shouldn't say OC. It's the vertical decentration. Hit that button. Place the block onto the left lens. Of course, they're not watching my videos anyway. It's what I learned from them. Those controversial statements. Can you believe that, people? There's no OC height on a lens? Yeah, I know. It's crazy talk. Facebook. People will say anything. I bet there's some Russian spies on there trying to infiltrate the American opticianry system and overthrow it. So let's go ahead and wake up the computer. That is the shape of the lens we'll be cutting. These are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, Hindex plastic, or Trivex, I would select that. Or better yet, TBD, to be determined later. We'll stick with polycarb for now. I'm not going to polish the edge of your lenses because they won't be seen. And I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. Now the magnet's going to do its job a second time tonight. It's going to attach itself to another magnet inside the chuck. Or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck. Hit that button. Oh, I just did that. Now I have to do everything in. No polish, safety bevel. Now hit the green arrow, which is start in every language. The door closes, the clamp shuts. And then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing the shape. And then the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. I can move the bevel forwards. I know it looks like I'm moving the lens back, but the bevel, if it was moved forwards, would force the lens back. Or if I move the bevel backwards on the lens, that would force the lens forward to give you the best cosmetic look, but you're not going to have an issue like that in this frame. So if you see light flickering in the background, that is water there to catch the optical sawdust. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, Hindex plastic, and Trivex cut wet. Now, as I mentioned, now water will spray onto the lens for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle just to wash away any optical debris that you may begin to see forming on the edge of the lens as it comes off of the cutting wheel. But your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. If you don't believe me, there it is, polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are also virtually unbreakable. It is a high-impact lens, the same type of lens material soldiers wear in their protective eyewear. It also has 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun. This is permanent and never needs to be reapplied. Now, the other nice thing about your lenses are they are aspheric. Aspheric simply means not spherical. A spherical lens is completely round in every meridian. This is flatter to fit in today's flatter curvature frames. So when you buy, plus spherical lenses give you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance, which you don't get with your lenses. So the other nice thing about your lenses are you have the anti-glare coating. You did pay the upgrade of $44.99 for that. Anti-glare's 3 features in one. Is it eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights and such. The other feature is it's it goes by the initials ARC, which means for anti-reflective coating. So it reduces reflections. When someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your lens. It makes for much better eye contact. Plus, if someone takes a picture with the flash, or if you take a selfie, you won't see the flash lit up in your lens. You'll see just your eyes. So again, makes for much better eye contact. Now, the third feature that I like, which is the practical side, is it comes with the industry's hardest scratch coating. The machine that applies the anti-glare coating. I'll get back to that. See how your lens is flat now? Just like a nickel, I could take it out and it would stand up on the counter. Now it's getting the safety bevel, the V-shaped bevel, so it stays inside the frame. But the machine that applies the anti-glare coating costs well over $1 million. And it takes over 24 hours to vaporize 8 different coatings onto your lens through 8 different color spectrums to reduce those reflections in 8 wavelengths. So because of the time and the expense, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there to protect your time and investment. So as you can see, the car wash has begun, so it means it's in the last 20 seconds of the cycle. In just a moment, a little lever is going to come into play. At the end of that lever is a spinning wheel, something you would find at the end of a Dremel tool. That's applying the safety bevel to the rear surface of the lens. Should any portion of that lens protrude from the back surface of this frame and touch your cheek, the edge of that lens will be nice and smooth, unlike that little thing. That's where they pour the polycarbonate into the mold to make the lens. Of course, you're not going to have any edge thickness in your frame. Now, I'm going to open this door with my mind. I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. I just got to stare at it for a couple hours, but then I can melt it. I can do anything with my mind except come up with new jokes. So if you can think of a funnier joke, write it down on a $100 bill and mail it to me, and I will read it on the air. You don't even have to include your name. I'll give you credit because I'll recognize your handwriting. So I'm going to see if it fits this first time around. I'm a little skeptical. I'm going to tuck your lens in at the outside corner here, using my thumbs pressed down at the nose. Nope, it doesn't want to fit. So I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to take it down 0.2 of a millimeter, 0.20. Hit retouch. A millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 0.2 of that off, 1/5 of that distance, going around the circumference of your lens until the lens snaps in there easily. I do not want to force it into the frame, which would cause it to stretch or roll. If you can imagine your lens being a gutter, being shaped like that, if I were to force the lens in there, the bottom of the frame would roll outwards. A lot of places use heat. Let me turn that on. This is just an expensive hair dryer, quite literally. But a lot of places will use heat on your frame. Heat it up, that will soften the plastic and make it more pliable so they can pop the lenses in if they were in a hurry. But because I cut every single pair of lenses that get shipped worldwide, I take the time to make sure they're mounted, known as cold mount, not using any heat, where they slip in there perfectly. I'm in no rush to do a perfect job. That's the difference. That little extra at the beginning, that's the difference between extraordinary and ordinary. That little extra at the beginning. Trust me, you want a perfectionist like me cutting your lenses. Saves the lifespan of the frame. You can wear it for a long time. Dry everything off again. Make sure there's no more sawdust on the edge of your lens. Optical sawdust, known as Schwarf. I would say may the Schwarf be with you, but it's not because I'm scraping it all off. So now we're going to see if it fits. I tuck it in at the outside corner, and it wants to squirm. All right, I'm going to tuck it in there first and try and push down. And nope, I'm still going to take it down another 1/10 of a millimeter. The Wayfarer Classic is known for a deeper bevel than, say, the new Wayfarer like I'm wearing. Good difference. Original Wayfarer, well, the original was made in 1952. It's the classic styling. Blues Brothers, Tom Cruise, Risky Business. Bob Dylan wore it in the video where he's showing you all those cards over and over again, flipping them over. John F. Kennedy wore one on that awesome wooden speedboat that he had. This is the new Wayfarer. This was created in 1992. The original one has that tilt, and of course there's less tilt in this frame. If only possible, I couldn't call it a design flaw, but that was the style. It turns away from your eyebrows and in towards your cheek. So this one, like my frame, is more, let me turn them this way, you may see that, more, I'll get it right here, more perpendicular to your face. So mine was made in 1992. Let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. This one came out a couple years ago, maybe, God, I don't even know, 2013, 2014, no later than 2015. And if anyone out there is considering this, hopefully he's not watching. John, you're not watching this video. But and actually he needed these quick. I told him I just sold these and it would take 2 weeks to get another pair in from Italy, so he said he wanted these. But these are lighter and to me more comfortable than the original, but he's been wearing this frame for so many years it's comfortable to him anyway, because that's what his head knows. That's what his head is used to, and we are creatures of habit, which is another thing. Vision itself is a function of the brain. That's how you can go to a doctor and they can analyze and tell if your prescription has changed. But it's a controlled environment. They have everything spaced at 20 feet because that's what 20/20 is. To see a certain, you should be able to see a certain size at 20 feet. Now it's also a white background chart with high contrasting black letters. The doctors control the lighting in the exam room, but we don't live in a 20-foot world. So you put your new prescription in and your brain says, hang on a minute. And it's true, it does. Here we go, that snaps in. Let's go ahead and start cutting the old left lens. Flip that in, hit start. Just like before the door closes, the clamp shuts. The lens is going to be traced by the two white styluses again. First, making sure the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing the shape. Follow my finger, there we go. And then the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once is measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know where to place the bevel. So you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. When I say the least, none. You have no edge thickness showing in this frame. That's why I use polycarbonate lenses, because they are 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic, as well as being high impact lenses. Dry that off. Save this. As you have seen, I make, ooh, there's a space right there. Let me press that down. I'm making my Icelandic Christmas tree there. But we can come down here and keep working on the right lens while the left is cutting. We're going to spin the axis wheel back to 165. Put the lens in just above that black dot. That was the flashlight I was dropping, by the way. Check the power, and we are getting, there's my flashlight. I just dropped it and I couldn't find it. How stupid looking is that? Minus 275, which is one tick mark away from 3. The unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. It starts at 0, which we in the industry call plano, and goes up from there. So you're the 15th rung of a ladder. You are nearsighted with your glasses off. You can see up near very well. You need 11 steps of far-sighted correction. Without your glasses on, everything is much too large. That's why there is a minus sign. Your lens is minified down to the correct size. When I say minify, you see the size of this letter? When I hold the lens up over it, it makes everything smaller. Or do I need to do that here? Real size, smaller. Real size, smaller. So your lens is minified down to the correct size. Once it's the correct size, you need 2 additional steps of astigmatism correction. Now there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just refers to shape. You don't freak out when you hear someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. That's all it is. It means you have a second curve on your eye. You have one spherical curve, which is minus 275. You have a second curve that is 2 steps steeper. 2 steps, minus a quarter, minus 50. And that's how you line up those 2 curves to make everything nice and crisp. That's why 6s and 8s look alike with the letters P and F if there's no astigmatism correction. Think of it as the fine-tune knob. You're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 165. A straight line is 0 to 180 with 90 in the middle and 270 at the bottom. But we're going to turn that fine-tune knob past the 90 to about 165, close to 180 there. Now let's check your astigmatism correction. If all goes well, we'll end up at minus 3 1/4 because there's 2 additional steps of power. Hang on, let me get it right there. There we go. Minus 3 1/4. I spun it too far. I was just excited. I love what I do. So 3 1/4. How did we get there? It's because we add 2 like signs together like we did in high school algebra. Everyone remember that? Yeah, don't worry, me either. Let's use today's terms. Someone borrowed $2.75 from you and then they borrowed another 50 cents. They would owe you $3.25. But Jeffrey, you're smarter. You're going to collect the interest on that, so it's going to be higher than $3.25. Now, your left eye starts at $3.25 and you need 3 steps of astigmatism correction. So when we add those 2 numbers together, we're going to come out to 40. Now again, that fine-tune knob's at 60. These 2 numbers for your right eye and your left eye is completely arbitrary and doesn't mean anything. These first 2 numbers are real values to be concerned with. This just tells us where to place those 2 values. All right, you done with my math lesson? So it's now getting the V-shaped bevel, the knife-like edge. A very dull knife like myself, but knife-like edge nonetheless. But the edge of your lens is going to be so sharp that you'll be able to cut through a piece of wet tissue, providing you soak the tissue in water overnight. And then press down with all your might, you might be able to cut through that tissue. So the water has begun spraying on there, which reminds me I need to take a bath or a shower. Although, you know what? I can wait. This is February 1st. It's not time for spring cleaning. I can still go a couple months before I need to bathe. That's a good thing about YouTube. You can't smell me. There's no smell-o-vision. You know, there's people out there who are going to believe that. I think that's a sign of the apocalypse when I can't get a shower. That's my me time. Best part of a day when you can take a second shower, and on very rare occasions I've had a 3rd shower in the day, and I think that's when I really speak to God. When I get a 3rd shower in, oh my God. Oh. When I retire, I kid you not, I'm going to write the definitive book on showering. I want to ooh, look at that. I want to shower so strong that it almost knocks me out of there. So that is Schwarf. That is the optical sawdust. I love it when it comes off in one long piece. What's even better is when you can get the lint trap from the dryer to come out in one piece like that. Now in my old days, I would collect it onto the table. I'll still reenact the old days. But I collect it neatly. Let me get all of it that's been there from the first lens. Collect it neatly into one pile. And then I wipe it on the floor. But this time, I'm going to wipe it on there because my wife, bless her southern heart, as we say here in the South, she wants me in my new lab to keep everything clean. So honey, look, I threw it away in the trash can. I used to throw it on the floor. Not anymore. So that snaps in there. Pop the block off, pull the sticker off. Now again, I used to throw these in the trash, but now I'm making artwork. Look at that. Oh yeah, stay tuned. It's growing. It is growing. So, come down here, spin the fine-tune knob to 60. Put it in above that black dot. And actually, because the power, what was the power combined of your right lens? 275 and 50 comes out to 325. I didn't even have to move it. 3 steps of astigmatism correction. Where do we end up at? -4. How about that? I couldn't have done any better if I had done the work myself. So your pupillary distance is 58. I'm going to turn the card around. Place the PD stick against my thumb on your right lens, and then when we hold it up to the left, we're getting 58 millimeters. So that is cut perfectly. Now this is the time in every video that as I clean your lenses, actually, you know what? I'll give you 30 cents off if I don't have to clean your glasses. No, okay. What can you give for 30 cents nowadays? But this is the portion that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that there's free shipping anywhere in the U.S. And last I heard, Glendora, California is still in the U.S. But not only is there free shipping, but when you get these in the mail, there is a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And because of that statistic, look, it's like a dog turning its head. Because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get them, and so just stop in your local place, tell them if it's too loose, too high, let me clean that up for you. It literally only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to adjust a pair of glasses perfectly, so don't be bashful, Jeffrey. Go in, tell them if it's too loose or too tight. And as I mentioned, 99% of all optical shops do free adjustments. But I will get it in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I take mine off and press down, and they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Because I'm part of that 80%, I have one ear that's higher than the other. Or wait, do I have one ear that's lower than the other? Or is it higher than the other? We'll never know. It's one of the great mysteries of life. But again, for those of you keeping score at home, today I'm wearing the RayBan 2132 new Wayfarer in color 6053, which is the blue crystal, to go with my blue crystal. I try to be matching. I do. I try. I care. Put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing, yo. Flip them over, press down, there is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly and neither temple is askew. So Jeffrey, I will be sending these out to you, and I'm also going to send out a selfie request to have your picture on the website, but also include cleaning instructions, not only for your frame and lenses, but for your RayBan cleaning cloth that comes with the case, the cleaning cloth that I provide, and your case. So all of this will last you for years. No other seller on the internet does that, I am told. And I field test every cleaning cloth to make sure that it works. So when you get these in the mail and then you see this wrinkle, that diagonal wrinkle right there, you know that it works. I've field tested every one. I'm not going to send you out a defective cloth. So that is that. If anyone has any questions, you can always email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or simply click the contact me button on the website. Or better yet, I've started asking people to leave a comment or a question in the comment section below. That way someone else can read and learn from your inquisitive nature, something they may not have thought of themselves. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more eyeglasses being made and keep hearing the same bad jokes over and over again because you know you love them. That's what keeps you coming back for more. But you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram as freeprescriptionlenses.com or on Twitter at freerxlenses. Because my username is too long for that. But that's it. Jeffrey in Glendora, California. I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses with anti-glare for your RayBan 4105, color 710, the classic tortoise in the 50 eye size. Yep, folding Wayfarer. Made in Italy. And hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.